holidays are a great time for many things, and one of the things that I spent a lot of cycles on over Christmas, so end of 2025, this Christmas, was just reflecting on what's going on in the world. And I came to the point of view that there's 3 mega trends right now that is driving a lot of the change, in fact, most of the change that we see in the world. And it's a cultural change that I'm not going to bore you with here, but there's, of course, AI is a massive megatrend. And then the second megatrend is around the geopolitical tension in the world, the rise of protectionism. And when I looked at Neo4j, I saw that we were pitch perfectly positioned for the megatrend around AI. But then I looked around and I saw which company it really has tailwinds from the geopolitical tension. And it's very clear in the business world, it's Palantir. Yet at the same time, I looked at our business and I saw that through our partner ecosystem, and one partner in particular, I saw us replacing Palantir with many customers. And of course, I'd known Bachman and the GraphAware team for 10 plus years at this point, been very close to them. They were the world's first Neo4j professional services, dedicated professional services organization, and have followed how they built out this amazing product, Hume, and saw just how customers loved that product. And so I add those 2 things together and I said, okay, we've known each other for a long time, been very close partners, and I saw just the growth in this vertical, and I said, okay, I'm gonna pick up the phone, give Bachman a call, and then we started talking. So that's my kind of view of it.
Yeah, well, I'll give a shorter answer. First of all, when did I realize this was a good idea? I think it was always a good idea. But for the industry itself, I think it became a good idea when we started seeing early signs of success with Hume, which is built on top of Neo4j, obviously. And then it became so successful that it started transforming the way people do policing, the way people do national security, cybersecurity. It became mission critical for a lot of customers. And I thought, well, we can do better than this, right? As a small organization, we can have only so much impact. If we grow bigger, either organically or inorganically, I think we can create a lot more impact. We can be a lot more successful, actually transforming the way people do intelligence analysis and keep countries and communities safe by using graph-powered intelligence analysis, right? And then there's the AI trend that Emil talked about. Well, all of our customers are asking, of course, for the analyst to be AI assisted, right? Some of them definitely also ask for the analyst to be to get magic answers from AI and maybe kind of simplify their job, but that's not the business we're in. This is some serious consequences if we get it wrong. So we're saying AI assisted, and I thought, well, how do we do this? I think the best way, and then I texted Emil on multiple occasions, because there's some other market trends we're not going to go into here, but there has been some acquisitions that happened in the run-up to our conversation, where we thought, well, you know, the market's consolidating a little bit here. There are some huge players that Emil already mentioned that are going to be hard to compete with or easier to compete with if we're bigger, right? And then, of course, who's the logical acquirer, the most logical acquirer for GraphAware? Well, our product only works on the Neo4j graph database, and it's kind of almost a technical dependency, if you wish. And then we have a very small go-to-market team. Neo4j has quite a big go-to-market team, so we thought, okay, the best way to make this scale and to have a bigger impact in the world is to get acquired by Neo4j. So finally, after a few exchanges on WhatsApp and text exchanges, Emil realized this is a good idea and gave me a call. Well, first of all, of course, we're going to see a lot of investment into the product. So we hope to deliver features and ship features faster. also, we're going to accelerate with Neo4j's AI capabilities and all the R&D they have put into AI use cases. We're going to accelerate the adoption of AI inside our product, inside Hume, to actually have AI-assisted analysts pretty soon here. And hopefully the whole experience with the product, the support around it, the field engineering and all that, will just become much more accessible because there's just more power that we have together. So I think the customers, and I definitely hope the customers, will only benefit from this change.
I think that's right. I think of it almost in two buckets. Like simplicity is one, right? Even though we've been super close partners and have had very tight formal business relationships, as well as personal relationships between our two companies, it still is two different companies. And customers had to interact with two organizations. Now it's one, so hopefully that's simplicity. And I think the other one is distribution. This is back to, at the end of the day, GraphAware is, call it 50 people, right? And we're call it 1,000 people. And so the amount of success that GraphAware has had, given the size, is just enormous. Like really an organization that has punched above its weight in so many ways, right? If you then add the distribution of Neo4j, let's just talk about the US, for example, right? Where I think you have 0 people in the US, right? We're headquartered in the US. We have a big field selling into US government, for example, state, local as well, right? And so I think that 1 + 1 = 3, I'm really excited about. So simplicity and distribution.
I have a very clear opinion on this. Like we launched the graph-powered intelligence manifesto about a year ago.
Yeah.
We strongly believe that the future of intelligence analysis is graph-powered. AI or no AI, you need to start with a graph to make sense of the world, which is connected, right? And that's what analysts typically struggled with. And then we go to any industry conference, any trade show, you will see a graph visualization in every booth. Everybody has a graph visualization on the surface of it. The real question is, what's beneath that surface, right? And in 99 out of 100 cases, it's not a graph database, it's not a graph architecture. And so that breaks down very quickly when you start asking questions, are these two things connected? How they're connected? Things like that. Classic shortest path style questions. It just breaks down. That's not the only thing, but I'm just gonna try to keep it short. So I think what this will allow us to do, and what this means for the industry, is we're gonna, this sort of early success, like I said, with graph-powered intelligence analysis, where some customers, especially in Australia, for example, have been on the forefront of innovation, and they're showing other partner agencies how to adopt these tools and what the kind of state of the art is. I think we have a genuine opportunity together to transform the way people do intelligence analysis.
So I think 3 years from now, I think the combined company, if I think about the more Hume-centric part, there's other pieces to the Neo4j platform, of course, than Hume. But I'm hoping that we've emerged as the only truly credible and legit alternative to Palantir when it comes to intelligence analysis at scale. And we used broadly in the US, in Europe, in Australia, across the Western world. And I also hope that we've branched out and given the power of that into the hands of people in financial services, right? To chase down financial crime, for example, in financial services. So I think those are the top things if I look out a few years, what I think success looks like. Do you agree?
Yeah. And for me, I think the combined product, the combined offering, the combined platform has to be a household name in intelligence analysis and fraud analysis and kind of catching bad type of behavior, bad guys, whatever. Any kind of analysis that protects people and societies and our way of life and democracy it has to be a household name. The tool, the platform, the offering has to be the default tool that everybody goes for. I always tell my team, I dream of an Intel analyst coming straight out of college, first day on the job. The first question he needs to get asked by the colleagues is, have you had your Hume training yet? Of course I have. Like, everybody needs to know what this is.
Yeah.
So that's what success looks like. I don't know if it's 3 years or 5, but that's what we're aiming for.
I think it's really important in, I think, all industries to build technology that centers around openness, extensibility, and interoperability. And if you look at the history of computing, industry by industry, open tends to win over time, right? There might be a surge in the beginning where some locked in, fully vertically integrated solution is the winner initially, but over time, the open platforms tend to win. Look at the web as an example, look at networking and so on and so forth. So I think that's the general trend towards openness, I think, is very strong. Secondarily, specifically for the use cases around defense, intelligence, where we're talking about some of the absolutely most crucial data and information that exists in the world, then I think it's not just a nice to have, but it's absolutely essential for countries, for sovereign nations to be able to have full control over that data. And obviously you've spent way more time in this world than I have. But even the time that I've spent, I've heard the term kill switch come up a lot, where people just feel very uncomfortable when there's some kind of a single dependency, whether that's a single vendor, a single country, or something like this, right? And I think that's one of the real advantages of the platform that we're putting together. Neo4j was born open source. Neo4j was based on open standards always, and in fact has been critical in creating a few standards, such as GQual, which is the first standard for database querying that was ever created after SQL, right? And so we were born in that way as the core platform, and seeing Hume and how easy it is to extend, how easy it is to get your data out of it if you choose to, how you can run it in your own like self-managed environment without being forced to buy professional services from a vendor, right? I think that is, it's a key reason why Hume and Neo4j will end up being chosen now and in the years going forward.
Agree fully. The only thing I will add is that the platform itself, the combined platform, is open and transparent in the sense that, let me start with transparent. We don't write anything into the database, into Neo4j, that is not written there by the customers. We don't store any metadata or we don't transform the data in any proprietary way, right? It's what you put in the graph is what you get. So it's very predictable, very transparent. The tool itself, when we say open, you can connect other tools to Neo4j. You don't have to use it through Hume. Your data scientists can run other kinds of technologies against the database to do their graph data science and things like this. And I think one of the most important things here, when you say open, that you took it from a very, very broad perspective, or a sovereign country level perspective. I will take a customer angle, and some of our customers tell us, you guys know what your unique selling point is the fact that we feel we're in control of our own data, in the sense that some vendors, when we want to either like export this data, which is our data, from this system, or we just want to use other tools to connect to it, they tell us it's not possible. And we have to pay extra money. And if we say, okay, well, we'll just go straight into the database, they say, then you lose warranty. So vendors, some vendors, and this is what our customers are used to, and they hate it, are blocking them from accessing their own data, right? And that's definitely not happening with these platforms. Like we said, it's a situation where you are in full control over how it's deployed, where it's deployed, and of the data in it. And I think that is a differentiator.
I think it's the combination of the opportunity that this opens up in the market for the new combined Neo4j in terms of verticalizing, moving up the stack, and what that can do for our customers. That in combination with, this is a team that we know so well. Many of us at Neo4j have known many of the folks at GraphAware for 10 plus years. Several happen to live in the same small city in Italy. GraphAware over the years have been the first team to always get early releases of the database and give it the best possible feedback, right? And so like all these relationships, we're a very relationship-centric company, both of the companies, right? That are structured and formal, but even more importantly, informal between human beings, between people, like finally coming together and can work as completely one team. I think I'm gonna cop-out answer. You asked for what is the one thing I'm most excited about. It's like that, the business opportunity combined with a chance, honestly, to bring the band back together and work as one unified team.
For me, we've achieved a lot over the years together as partners, but there's a certain amount of friction that comes out of the fact that we're two separate entities and two separate teams. Right? And not just friction, but it limits what we can do. And the thing I'm most excited about is what happens when you remove those limits, right? And we've just removed them. The friction will go away, will open the floodgates, and I think that I'm excited about the opportunity that creates, right? We already know how to work together, but just removing all this friction of being two different teams, two different companies, and just going full speed, I think the world needs it. I think it's the right time, and I'm excited about the outcomes.
Let's go.